To the pitch side monitor here. Based on the replays that we are shown, there certainly is contact from Dani Olmo. Kubo just darting in off that right hand side, midway inside his own half of the field. And Olmo does catch him on the side of the foot. It's a foul. Decision here for the referee is, does he get a bit of the ball? From my perspective here, I don't think he does, and this looks as if it will be ruled out, and that is the decision from Jesus Gil Manzano. And the high drama continues here in San Sebastian. Fermin Lopez's goal is ruled out, and we are back to Real Sociedad 0, Barcelona 0. Incredible stuff for your Sunday evening listening here on Flash Score. Chances at both ends and a goal already ruled out. We're only now ticking past the 10-minute mark here. Barcelona's first game in the second half of the 2025-26 La Liga season. A point over Real Madrid coming into this one. They've shown a real sharp edge so far this evening, but on the back of that decision from the match officials, no breakthrough as it stands. Ball forward from the Barcelona goalkeeper Joan Garcia is helped on its way over to that left-hand side for Dani Olmo, who's drifted out there with Fermin Lopez started in a central position. Now Lamine Yamal, who's switched wings momentarily, to link up with Balde, but Sociedad back in numbers there, able to just keep him at arm's length for the moment. Fermin Lopez, who's moved over to the right-hand side. Now Koundé, Lamine Yamal, buffeted back away from the edge of the Real Sociedad penalty area. Koundé backs him up. Now Fermin Lopez, 25 yards from the visitors' goal. Everybody in blue and white back inside their own defensive third of the field here. That little ball into the feet of Ferran Torres is well cut out by Carlos Soler, and Eric Garcia will eventually go all the way back to his goalkeeper. Sociedad currently 13th in La Liga. A real season of change and upheaval at the club. Manuel Alguacil, of course, moving on in the summer after 6.5 seasons in charge here. 5 of those he led the club to European qualification. It was only last season where they landed in 11th place, his poorest finish in charge, that missed out on a place in either the Europa League or the UEFA Champions League. Sergio Francisco, who was brought in as his replacement, only lasted until December, and now Matazaro, who's made a very steady start, is tasked with driving them up the table. Minimum of a top half finish will be the desired objective from the ownership. The clip ball in behind there from Lamine Yamal doesn't quite hit his target of Ferran Torres. A goal kick for Real Sociedad. Played short by Zubizielda to his goalkeeper. Clip ball over the top, which others would chase, but Koundé gets there first and goes for caution back to Joan Garcia. Frenkie de Jong, good vision there just to pop the pass back out to Jules Koundé. Now Pedri, back on the edge of his own penalty area. He's got 3 Sociedad players around him momentarily, but not one to be phased in that type of situation is Spain and Barcelona's number 8. Koundé almost caught in possession though himself as Guedes chased him down. Be a throw in for Barcelona in their right back position. Koundé to Kouassi. Relatively low-key day in the Premier League as well, if you're keeping an eye on the English top flight as well as Spain's top tier. Wolves 0, Newcastle 0. Bedford's side still remain rooted to the foot of the Premier League table, and Everton managed to end Aston Villa's long winning run. Tierno Barry's second half goal secured all 3 points for David Moyes. Here's Dani Olmo. Got space to raid over the halfway line. He's past Guedes. Antonientes takes on the shot from distance, but it will just fly well over the top of Alex Ramiro's crossbar. Far too much space for Olmo to attack there. Soler and Trientes caught up the field, and Olmo had Lamine Yamal and Fermin Lopez either side of him, but backed himself in that situation. Ramiro just waves it over the top. It is Ramiro again. Pressure from Ferran Torres. Nice neat ball into midfield as Homeside try and build up towards the halfway line, but that's it. Poor ball forward from Sergio Gomez. Guedes won't get there. A little change of shape from the home side since the start. When they're in possession, Guedes will go up as a traditional strike partner for the captain Oyarzabal. Kubo on the right and Bryce Mendes down this near left hand side. And then out of possession, it's Oyarzabal up top on his own, trying to make something out of this Barcelona defence. Lovely little ball in behind here, and Fermin Lopez is away from Zubizielda. Just can't quite lift it back towards Ferran Torres. Again, we're seeing the home side just pushing up too far, taking too many chances. Zubizielda was not going to get back and challenge Lopez there. Alert goalkeeping though from Alex Ramiro. Oyarzabal tries a pinged ball from left to right, but it's deflected, and Guedes will chase all the way back there with Koundé. Koundé just about manages to avoid conceding what would have been a bizarre corner from Oyarzabal's original pass on halfway. Guedes raced him right into the corner. It's Koundé who wins the sprint. Sociedad will have a throw-in pushed right up down this left-hand side. In front of the corner flag, Gomez ushered forward to take. Tossed into the penalty area there, but battle between Soler is lost with Kubasi. João Garcia gets his gloves on that one. Quarter of an hour gone here for what was a frantic opening couple of minutes. We have calmed down just a touch. Host captain Mikel Oyarzabal denied what would be his 5th career goal against Barcelona. Headed home a delicious cross from Goncalo Guedes, but it was rightfully ruled out for offside, and then Pedri kept out by Ramiro. For the big moment of the game so far, Fermin Lopez, who's on the ball here now, again attacking the byline, cuts it across. Olmo just can't quite get there. Lopez's goal ruled out by VAR after a foul by Olmo on Kubo. Despite looking a little shaky in defence, home side have weathered the storm, both physical and hypothetical. The torrential rain has calmed down, and that's allowed both teams to settle into a bit more of a pattern here. Koundé steps over the halfway line and rolls it into the centre circle for Frenkie de Jong. Olmo back to de Jong. Pedri has already pushed forward into position here, links with Fermin Lopez, will try and float that across for Balde. Just couldn't quite stretch out a limb long enough. Real fluidity about Barcelona. It's only really Frenkie de Jong who's sitting deep. Pedri, Olmo, Lopez get forward at every opportunity to try and connect with Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres. It's a joy to behold Lamine Yamal. 18 years old, makes everything look so easy. 7 Liga goals for the season so far, 9 last season, so you would anticipate he'll break that particular barrier. Just check in with the AFCON final as well. And it is still goalless in Rabat. Senegal 0, Morocco 0. It's a match, of course, that tends to be very, very tight. The odd goal and possibility for extra time and penalties always on the horizon. Here's Koundé, back on the edge of his own penalty area. Rolls into the feet of Lamine Yamal, who's chased backwards by Sergio Gomez. Gomez wins out this time. Reverse ball just played over the top here for Goncalo Guedes. Can't quite feed it into the path of 2 on-rushing Real Sociedad players. Rashford and Bryce Mendes both bursting into the penalty area there. It's Garcia who gets back in and just toes it away from Mendes. It's Alejandro Balde over it. Left back for Barcelona.
Yo el otro día me pidieron.
Koundé now. So smooth playing out of that type of situation. Rashford goes to put the pressure on Joan Garcia, and then Frenkie de Jong pops up. Tries to spin a pass over to that far left-hand side, which Balde will give chase to. Headed away inside the penalty area though by John Martin. Pedri will pick it up midway inside the Sociedad half of the field. Now Koundé. Again, once more the home side just camped back on the edge of their own box. And that's a beautiful little finish by Frenkie de Jong. Immediately offside flag flashes up against the Dutchman. Pedri just waited for the delayed run of his midfield partner, but superb finish on a brilliant chip pass. Rejected by the assistant on this near side. Correct decision, no need for VAR in that one. Terrific execution from Pedri though, and de Jong just guides it past Ramiro. It's the wry smile on the face of the former Ajax man who's got a couple of goals against La Real down the years. He knew he'd probably just gone too early there. Sociedad have got themselves a free kick over on the far right hand side, midway in Barcelona's half of the field. Chance for them to try and test the visitors' back line from a set piece here. They'll bring the big guns forward. Martin, Zubialdia. It's Carlos Soler who's gone over to take this one. Conversation with Goncalo Guedes. Soler to take, hangs it in towards the edge of the penalty area, not completely dealt with. Kouassi makes the first contact, but he's knocked back and then eventually cleared away by Dani Olmo. Going back in the end to Alex Ramiro in goal for La Real. Played downfield, and Garcia has to be sharp about his business to get across in front of Yarthabat. Now Olmo over the halfway line, just space inside that left channel for him to try and track. Kubo gets in there. It's a really important challenge. Pedri takes over. Koundé with the little layover for Lamine Yamal, who try and go into Olmo here. Steered over the crossbar by Dani Olmo. Barcelona continuing with these intricate little passages of play. Olmo's come onto that one perfectly. Just rolled into his path, 15 yards out by Lamine Yamal. Takes it first time, right-footed. Didn't have the accuracy when it mattered though. Ramiro able to wave it past his upright. Quarter of the game gone here. Barcelona are knocking on the door of their Basque hosts. 4 of the last 5 in La Liga against Real Sociedad, all of those. Chance here now for Olmo to come forward. Lamine Yamal takes on Gomez, and Lamine Yamal just spins it past Ramiro's far post. Barcelona claiming that Ramiro got a touch on that one. Again, Lamine Yamal just skins Gomez here on into the penalty area. Just has to steer it across the face of goal. He might have been aiming for the far post run of Fermin Lopez. Just goes behind eventually for a goal kick. So yeah, 4 wins in the last 5 against Real Sociedad. Geraldo Becker's goal here last season was a break in the chain. The first win for Real Sociedad against Barcelona in La Liga in 8 years. So the tail of the tape tends to be a Barcelona win. The balance of the first 25 minutes here so far pointing in that direction again, but as it stands, all square. And Buru does really well over on that far side, just to hack it clear in front of Dani Olmo. You can see the throw in for Barcelona though, right in front of the host penalty. Balde tosses it backwards though. Eric Garcia pushed over the halfway line along with Kouassi. It's turned over inside the host half of the field here. They've got a chance to break away. Tiafosu Kubo will take it on. Tries to play it in behind Koundé. And there's a big chance here for Real Sociedad. Guedes loses his footing. And can he get a shot away? He can in the end. Straight down the throat of Joan Garcia. And that was an opportunity for La Real. Kubo does really well just to spot the run of Guedes, who was away from Koundé. As Koundé was struggling to get back, Guedes loses his footing right at the vital moment there. Steps back in on his right foot and can only steer an effort straight at Garcia. Barring Uyarzábal's goal that was ruled out, and it's by some distance Real Sociedad's best chance of the game so far. Here's Balde. Lovely little rotation of the ball to step away from Aramburu. Chased into the corner though by Kubo. Forced backwards here onto the halfway line for Barcelona. Pedri once again takes control. Koundé stepping in the field from right back onto Lamine Yamal. Gomez needs some help down this left hand side, and Guedes provides it. He'll go with Koundé on the overlap from Lamine Yamal. Koundé does really well just to protect possession there and go back to Barca's number 10. Try and take Gomez on once more. Stands his ground this time. The Sociedad left back in a 4-4. Lamine Yamal turned home, and Sociedad appeal for a foul. And the assistance flag has flashed up here, and the La Liga leaders once more tonight are denied an opening goal by the officials. There's 2 points of interest here as Lamine Yamal twists and turns, tries to get the better of Sergio Gomez. Koundé goes down, and as he's on the floor, plays that back to Lamine Yamal. But the question for the referee and his assistants here is, was there a foul by Koundé on the ground? There's Gomez and Zubialdea, who were entangled with the French international. Nancy Flick is giving his opinion on the sideline. You can imagine his stance on the matter. And it was the assistant referee who immediately flagged as Lamine Yamal just curled in the loose ball. Routine enough finish for him. And Frankie de Jong is being beckoned over here by the referee. It's Gomez who's the focal point here. He was barged over by Koundé. Couldn't cleanly win the tussle with Lamine Yamal. And Koundé just tries to bump his way past him. He does go through the back of Sociedad's left back, the former Manchester City man. former Barcelona youth team player as well, of course. He has been right in the middle of things so far this evening. We've got another lengthy VAR delay here because Gil Manzano has been told that this is being checked. He would anticipate that he'll be called over to the monitor to possibly have another look at this one. The decision is no goal, no need for a check. Off the field. The on-field decision has been backed up here. He is focused on that foul by Koundé on Sergio Gomez. Plenty of relieved faces in blue and white after that one. It is a foul, but certainly not a clear decision for the officials, but that is the one that has been taken. Another let-off for Real Sociedad. Ball over the top here. Ferran Torres trying to race away in behind. Needs support. Gets it in the form of Olmo down the left-hand side. Now Balde on the overlap. Can he get to the byline? Challenge there. Barcelona are claiming a corner in their favour off Aramburu. Nothing doing. Final touch does look as if it came off the Real Sociedad player. Half an hour gone. It's been an action-packed night here in the Basque Country. Not one but two goals ruled out for Barcelona, plus one for Real Sociedad. The only scoreline that matters is that it is still Real Sociedad 0, Barcelona 0. Does really well there, just a dart back and right back and cuts out that intended pass from Pedri for Dani Olmo. Hacked away by Alex Ramiro. Turientes up against Pedri, the two number 8s there, and eventually just dribbles out of play for a throw in favour of Real Sociedad. De Jong just a bit sharper to it than Brais Mendes. To start showing something in attack here, because Barcelona look in the mood that if they get one goal, they might just take the game away from their hosts here tonight. The team does well there, just to shepherd possession back to his goalkeeper Ramiro. Cleared long by the goalkeeper all the way through to his opposite number, Joan Garcia. Interesting battle between those two players in the second half of this season in the race to be included in Luis de la Fuente's Spain squad. Unai Simon is pretty ironclad as number 1. David Raya is backup. Cross in from the right hand side here, and a breakthrough for Real Sociedad. And who else but Oyarzabal? Beautiful delivery from the right hand side. And the number 10 just watches it all the way over Koundé's head and bullets the volley beyond Joan Garcia. They've been up against it all night so far. But the breakthrough comes, and it comes in blue and white. And that is a brilliant finish from Mikel Oyarzabal. It took patience just to wait for the cross to drop over. It's the switch from the centre over to the right hand side. Kubo just waits and draws Balde in. Roll back here for Guedes. Hangs the cross into the penalty area. Now there is a question mark of offside against Carlos Soler here. Oyarzabal looks to have held his run perfectly before pumping that past Joan Garcia. Soler does go a fraction too early. Is there an argument that he was interfering with play? Certainly doesn't look so from my perspective. And the goal stands, and the Estadio Real is bouncing here. A 6th La Liga goal of the season for the captain. His 5th against Barcelona. That's now level with Lewandowski. A huge goal. The home side are have really struggled against wave after wave of Barcelona pressure. And Oyarzabal, who was denied early on in the opening 30 seconds. 32 minutes gone here. He takes his chance. Cracking ball over from Goncalo Guedes. Kuba made the angle for him, just forcing Balde away. Floated in by Portuguese international and finished off by the talisman here in San Sebastian. The referee's back in amongst the action here as Carlos Soler is caught late midway inside his own half by Pedri. Barcelona man is all apologies to both the referee and Carlos Soler. Don't think that will be a card. I think it'll just be a warning for Barcelona's number 8. Now Real Sociedad have got themselves a free kick. Just right of centre, midway inside Barca's half of the field. Chance to load one right into the penalty area. Sergio Gomez is the left-footed option, but he leaves it. Curled in by Guedes, it will come through to the back post here. Kept alive by Jean-Martin. Koundé bundles it behind for a corner. The first of the game at either end for either Barcelona or Real Sociedad. Jean-Martin did well there just to peel away from Koundé and head it back into a dangerous area. So 10 minutes to go in the first half. Carlos Soler will step out to this left-hand side to take. Arrowed in towards the far post, headed away by Pedri. Kept alive in there, momentarily at least, by Real Sociedad, and knocked back into the danger area. Kouassi does well once more. Won't give this up, the home side. Gomez with a drive. Caught high up by Joan Garcia. Barcelona want to get on with this quickly. Koundé with the switch over to the left-hand side, taken down by Lamine Yamal, who's once again swapped sides for the moment. And here he comes, slaloming through a couple of challenges on the unfamiliar left-hand side. Eventually just squirts back into the centre circle for Frenkie de Jong. Kouassi, Eric Garcia. Still no change in the AFCON final. A little over 12 minutes of normal time to go. Senegal 0, Morocco 0. Pedri does really well here, away from 3 challenges, and he's eventually just pulled down inside the centre circle. Turientes, frustration got the better of him there. That'll be a card for the host number 8. I've seen that a few times with certain players in blue and white this evening. Sergio Gomez struggling up against Lamine Yamal. Aaron Butter against Olmo and Lopez a few times as well. Turientes is the first name taken of the night though by Gil Manzano. Here's Olmo on the left hand side, trying to weave a little bit of magic. Links up with Balde, back to Olmo to curl one. Turned behind unconvincingly by Alex Ramiro. Tried to catch him out at his near post there. In the corner of the penalty box, Dani Olmo just swings that one goalward, and with conditions as they have been tonight, Ramiro not taking any chances, and he just pours that behind for Barcelona's first corner of the game. It will be Olmo to take. Goes near post, blocked away. Kuba will complete the clearance. Sociedad just a little bit frantic after taking the lead. Not playing the defending champions after all, and a Barcelona side that will not be overawed by the task of getting themselves back into the game. Led here by Lamine Yamal. Ball in from the right hand side, is headed away. Not completely cleared though. Oyarzabal drops in there to lend a hand. Guedes gets himself in a tangle with Jules Koundé closing him down. Sergio Gomez with the clearance, knocked on by Brais Mendes. Yartabal loses out on the halfway line too. Eric Garcia. Might be a free kick in Garcia's favour. Yartabal just dragging him down there. Need to keep their heads here, Real Sociedad, and try and get to the half-time break. Still in front. Lamine Yamal. He's got Gomez backing off once more to the byline. Needs support here. Lamine Yamal. Really good bit of rugged defending there from Sergio Gomez. Just gets himself back in position. Triente's lending a hand this time from central midfield, but between the two of them they managed to slam the door on Barcelona's talisman. Sometimes it just takes 2 or 3 players to deal with Lamine Yamal, and that was certainly the case there. Survived on grit and a bit of good fortune in terms of a few decisions going in their favour, Real Sociedad. When the moment came for the captain to strike, he stepped up. Just got 5 minutes, plus whatever will be added on to see through here to the half-time break. Scrapping down this left-hand side from Guedes to win a throw-in, which Sergio Gomez will come forward, 25 yards from Barcelona's goal. Barca players not happy here with how long Gomez is taking over the throw-in. Eventually finds its way to Brais Mendes. Himself another throw-in right in front of the corner flag. Good play that. Draws the challenge from Pedri. The home side just need to box clever here, get themselves to the break. Gomez a bit quicker about this one. To Brais Mendes. Ball in, blocked behind for a corner off Jules Koundé. Second of the game for Real Sociedad, third in total. Opportunity once more for the last big guns to be wheeled forward. Martin, Zubeldia. Carlos Soler to take. Swung in towards the far post, headed away. Lamine Yamal gets the second contact on that. Aramburu loads back in for La Real, headed away by Dani Olmo. Barcelona initially pleading for a foul there, but Manzano waves play on. Lamine Yamal tries to go first time through to Fermin Lopez. Alex Romero just a bit sharper about it. Clears away for the home side. Real Sociedad is still appealing for a foul, as that corner was recycled back in by Aramburu. It's John Martin who was sandwiched in between Olmo and Koundé. His manager Matazaro, who's been pretty animated in this first half, was straight out to remonstrate with the fourth official, but no dice with Gil Manzano. Lovely little give and go inside the centre circle between Ferran Torres and Lamine Yamal. Switched over to the left hand side. Danger here now for Real Sociedad. Olmo lifts it back in. Ferran Torres will leave that to bounce all the way to the byline for Lamine. Now Koundé blocked behind for a corner. Triente's back in position there for the home team. Barcelona just caught in 2 minds as they broke forward there. Lopez and Torres going at a rate of knots into the penalty area. Lamine opted for Olmo. Eventually, hosts were able to get back in numbers to thwart them away. Lamine Yamal will take this corner for Barcelona. Floated in. Ramiro with the two-handed punch. Kubo will knock it on just a little bit further. Guedes will gather here, but he needs support around him. Tries to lay it off for Yartabal. Pedri is forced to concede another throw-in, which will only edge Real Sociedad closer to the break. To the final 2 minutes of regulation time here. Gomez will just step forward onto the halfway line. Lamine Yamal is making the point that he's pinching a few yards there. Throw into the channel for Oyarzabal is dealt with by Kubasi. Now Eric Garcia trying to build out of the penalty area for Barcelona. Tracked every inch of the way though. Can only find Pedri onto Balde. Space for him to dart over the halfway line. Links with Olmo. Lovely layoff from Dani Olmo. Cross from Balde though is nodded away by John Aramburu. It's all hands to the pump here for Real Sociedad. Anticipate there'll be quite a few minutes added on given the lengthy delays. 3 goals disallowed. So the job certainly not done for the home team at this stage. Olmo again links with Balde on that left hand side. Steps away from a couple of challenges right on the edge of Real Sociedad's penalty area. Can't quite work an angle for a cross. Eventually it's floated in towards Lamine Yamal. Knocked behind for another corner. Carlo Guedes, who's back there in front of Barcelona's number 10. Final few minutes in Rabat as well. Still Senegal 0, Morocco 0. Been for a long night. The final of AFCON. Yamal takes the corner short and Barcelona not able to work anything from that. They won themselves a throw in though as Guedes darted out. Koundé will take this one quickly just in front of the Sociedad penalty area. Lamine Yamal gets there ahead of Oyarzabal. Pedri rolled across for Frenkie de Jong. Beyond the 45 minutes here, just waiting on an update regarding added time as Kubo goes to the ground against Alejandro Balde. Another corner for Barcelona. 5 additional minutes here. Corner taken quickly. Olmo to de Jong. Olmo just to float that one into the box for Koundé. Can't quite wriggle and wrestle away from Zubeldia. Goal kick for Real Sociedad. Barcelona coming into this game, of course, on the back of 11 straight wins across all competitions. La Liga, Champions League, Spanish Super Cup and Copa del Rey. Chelsea are the only team to beat them since late October, so it is a measure of what Real Sociedad have done so far. Got a few minutes here before the break and then a crunch second 45 to come, but credit where credit is due so far. They are doing the business. Both of these sides will learn their Copa del Rey quarter-final opponents tomorrow. The draw is due to be made in Madrid. Barcelona with a 2-0 win away at Segunda side, Racing Santander. Sociedad, it was a bit trickier for them. They needed a penalty shootout to eventually see off La Liga rivals Osasuna. They're both in the hat for the final 8. Here is Lamine Yamal. Lovely link up here on the edge of the box. Gets away from one challenge. And then he's blocked once more. It's been a team effort back there to keep him out so far. Dipped away from Gomez with ease, but Zubeldia back on duty. Another pass forward cut out on the edge of the Real Sociedad penalty. A great challenge from de Jong on Guedes. Just can't smuggle a pass into the feet of Lamine Yamal there. Guedes gives it away to Pedri. Now Lamine Yamal, angle for the shot here. Can he get one? Big save from Ramiro. They turn back across the face of goal by Alejandro Balde. And the Real Sociedad goalkeeper comes to their rescue. Lamine Yamal was being played onside. Jean Martin just a fraction too deep inside the penalty area. Tries to ease it back across goal off his left foot. And Ramiro gets a big hand on that one to turn it away. Stacks and stacks of chances created by Barcelona. None have been taken, certainly, that have been ratified by the officials. And the XG fans out there were first half XG of 1.55, but no goals. Lamine Yamal, lovely Robona down the right hand side for Fermin Lopez to chase, and chase he will up against Zubialdia. He's had a big last 10 minutes, the Real Sociedad number 5, drafted in place of Duhe Kalateka. One change from the 2-0 win over Getafe a couple of weeks back. He's standing firm back there, helping out Sergio Gomez as needed and trying as best he can to keep a handle on Lamine Yamal to the final minute of the 5 additional. Into 8 minutes of added time in the AFCON final between Senegal and Morocco. Still goalless in that one. Here's Lamine Yamal, one final run at the La Real defence before the break. Guedes is back there on the corner of the penalty area. Roll to Pedri. He tries to find Lamine Yamal, but he's blocked away. Koundé will keep it alive on the byline. Real Sociedad just throwing bodies in the way here to try and get that cleared away. He can just about manage to help it all the way back over the halfway line. Eric Garcia to Joan Garcia. Just need to drag themselves to the break here. Real Sociedad, lovely little flick round the corner there from Frenkie de Jong. Lamine Yamal goes down, and it's a penalty to Barcelona. And try as they might, the host resistance has been broken seconds before the break. And this is a sensational little touch here, round the corner by Frenkie de Jong to free Lamine Yamal. Zubialdia on the stretch initially deals with it, but as Lamine steps into the penalty area, he has another little nibble at him, takes him down. Oyarzabal has gone straight over to the referee here to plead the home side's case. Lamine Yamal has already grabbed the ball here. It does not seem as if this will be overruled. It's a real bit of frustration for the home team. Zubialdia does catch Barca's number 10. He's only started taking penalties for Barcelona this season, adding to the list of things that he can do. Scored all 3, 2 in La Liga, 1 in the Champions League. But this is being discussed between Jesus Gil Manzano and Carlos del Cielo Grande. The main question is, does the foul occur outside the penalty area? From my viewing, it's right on the line of the Real Sociedad 18-yard box, and this is being looked at. Gil Manzano with the good news in the ear of Mikel Oyarzabal has overruled the decision here. There'll be no penalty for Barcelona. I think this is being called back for a potential offside against Lamine Yamal. That is absolutely incredible. Just seemed as if he maybe sneaked a fraction ahead of La Real's number 5 when that ball was played into him. And that is the decision. Offside in the build-up. So penalty ruled out, and another reprieve for the home side. And on what's been an incredibly busy first half here, Jesus Gil Manzano finally blows the half-time whistle, and what a game we've had so far. 3 goals ruled out by VAR, a penalty decision overturned against Barcelona, but the only goal that matters is the one scored by Mikel Oyarzabal that gives Real Sociedad the lead here at half-time. We've had an absolute cracker so far at the start of the second half of the 2025-26 La Liga season, but at the break here on Flash Score, it is Real Sociedad 1, Barcelona 0. Ruled out right on the stroke of half-time for offside against the Spain international. So there's been a huge involvement for the match referee, Jesus Gil Manzano. We'll anticipate a few more twists and turns before the final whistle is blown here tonight. Back underway in extra time in the AFCON final. Still Senegal 0, Morocco 0. So they'll play out another half an hour with penalties potentially on the horizon. Mikel Oyarzabal has just taken a whack in the face in the opening seconds of the second half, and he's checked on and given the green light to continue by Gil Manzano. No changes from either manager at the break. New Real Sociedad manager Matazaro happy with what he's seen so far. And Oyarzabal has got a chance to chase in behind here. That was certainly a half opportunity for the home side. And the flag eventually comes up against Oyarzabal, who's gone way too early in behind Kubasi. And dragged his effort off target anyway. So, team news. La Real, Ramiro in goal, Aramburu, Martin, Zubialdia and Gomez in defence. Kubo, Turientes, Soler, Mendes, Guedes and Oyarzabal in attack. And now it's a chance for Barcelona to pull forward. And Olmo off the post. What a game we're having here tonight. Barely time to finish the team news. My apologies. Koundé leading the charge down the right-hand side. Linked superbly with Fermin Lopez on the overlap. And he just rolls it across the 6-yard line. Ferran can't get there. Olmo steers it on goal. But he's denied by the outside of Ramiro's post. Two chances at both ends, and we're not even 3 minutes into the second half here. The post denying Olmo and the offside flag frustrating Oyarzabal. We will get to that Barcelona team news. Joan Garcia in goal, Koundé, Kubasi, Eric Garcia and Balde, Pedri, De Jong, Olmo, Lamine Yamal, Ferran and Fermin Lopez. More of the same, please, in this second half. Alongside the restart of extra time for Senegal versus Morocco in the AFCON final, Real Madrid's Brahim Diaz has seen a penalty saved by Edouard Mendy. So action in Rabat and here in San Sebastian. Another lofted ball into the penalty. Olmo the target once more. Can't quite get a touch on that one. I'm just being told by my colleague that in the heat of the moment in that AFCON final, Brahim Diaz tried a Panenka and was thwarted by Mendy. My word, what a time to try something so audacious. Extra time on the cards there. Corner for Barcelona, taken quickly, taken short. Olmo to Pedri. Olmo tries to float that in towards Eric Garcia. And we've just received a correction on that Brahim Diaz chance. That was actually right at the end of normal time. Wow, amazing stuff. So it is extra time and it is still 0-0. Brahim Diaz, if it does go to penalties, will want to make up for that one, I'm sure. Here's Real Sociedad. 5 minutes into the second half here at the Estadio Real. No change in the scoreline, still 1-0 to the home side, but Dani Olmo with two decent chances already. Barcelona look to get themselves back on track. 11 wins on the run before tonight. Haven't lost a league game since October. Only lost once in the last 14 in all competitions, and Sociedad are going to have to dig in here They are going to have to watch their discipline as John Aramburu is cautioned there. Just darts across field and wrestles down Dani Olmo in front of the Barcelona penalty area. He joins Turientes on a caution for the home team. Joan Garcia clears up to the halfway line, nodded down by Sergio Gomez. Little dart forward over the halfway line from left back for him. Clip back over the top but by Carlos Soler, but it's well dealt with by Koundé. Koulibaly will see that back to Joan Garcia. Just receiving more reports on that Brahim Diaz penalty. Someone has just shown me a replay of it. My word, what a time to try something like that. Amazing. Extra time is underway. That here's Lamine Yamal raided towards the edge of the Real Sociedad penalty area. A snapshot there from Ferran Torres, batted away by Alex Ramiro. Balde will pick up the spare here. Now Dani Olmo, Frankie de Jong midway inside the host half of the field, rolled across to Pedri. Fermin Lopez tries his luck. It's high and wide. Ramiro already called into action here. Great technique that from Ferran Torres. Just too close to the La Real goalkeeper. Reactions from him though to beat it out. You would anticipate if there's no change in the scoreline as we tick on and past the hour mark here. Flick will turn to Robert Lewandowski. Told Real Sociedad didn't offer a great deal in attack in the first 45 minutes. XG of just 0.2. Majority of that coming from Oyarzabal volleying into the back of Joan Garcia's net. Barcelona are already over 2.2. But they have not managed to push Ramiro's net legitimately so far. Fermin Lopez and Lamine Yamal, who's on the ball here now, both denied by VAR. Threaded ball into that right channel for Fermin Lopez, trying to cut it back for Olmo. Blocked behind for a corner by Zubieldia. This will be the pattern of the second half. Barcelona will throw everything they've got at Real Sociedad. That'll be an enormous test of the home team's resolve to see if they can hold on out. Haven't kept a clean sheet under their new manager. But they are unbeaten since he's taken charge. A really good draw here against Atletico Madrid. First game of 2026, and then his late goal securing a win at Getafe just a fortnight ago. The corner is well cleared away and Kubo will chase Balde back into his own half. Worked all the way back to Joan Garcia. Marcus Rashford and Lewandowski have both been sent out already by Hansi Flick, so changes afoot you would anticipate. Here is Fermin Lopez, forced back on the halfway line, and then Pedri's ball into Dani Olmo. Just had a bit too much zip on it. Good covering there from Aramburu. Sees that behind for a goal kick for Real Sociedad. So 55 minutes gone. The home side still holding firm here. Oyarzabal's 6th La Liga goal of the season, the difference as it stands. This could be one for the ages if they do manage to secure victory. Did win 1-0 against Barcelona, of course, here last season, but the balance of this game, that clear underdogs here. Barcelona in red hot form, and it's been a Barcelona performance that's lacked pretty much everything other than a goal that stood the test of VAR. Here is Eric Garcia, pushed over the halfway line, rolled on to Alejandro Balde, forward from left back. As the blue and white shirts of La Real strung across their defensive third of the field, and looking to shield Alex Ramiro. Lamine Yamal, lovely little drop of the shoulder there. Runs into 3 challenges and he's brought down here. It will be a free kick against Carlos Soler. Sergio Gomez, not for the first time tonight, is breezed past by Lamine Yamal. Soler stepped across to lend a hand and has conceded a free kick in a very, very dangerous position here for Barcelona. 22, 23 yards from goal, just in off the right hand side. Between the D and the corner of the penalty area, so it's perfect shooting angle for the left foot of Lamine Yamal, as Alex Ramiro just organises his wall here. It's Olmo and Lamine in conversation over this one. And before we have this free kick, we can confirm that Senegal have taken the lead, as Lamine Yamal swings that one over the top of Ramiro's crossbar. The Real keeper gives a tip to his bar as it goes over. This is temporarily averted. So, just passing across to Rabat momentarily. Pape Gueye has fired Senegal in front. There's a heck of a goal as well. The hosts are behind after 7 minutes of extra time. And there's going to be a double change here for Real Sociedad. Matarazaro getting his changes in before Hansi Flick. So former Real Madrid man Alvaro Odriozola is on. He's in place of Bryce Mendes, and John Gorochajecki takes the place of Turientes. Odriozola is a fullback by trade, so he'll come onto this right hand side as a more defensive option. Kubo will either switch in field or go to the left. We'll keep an eye on that for the moment. Initially looks as if La Real are going to go to a back 5 of Odriozola, Aramburu, Martin, Zubialdia and Gomez. Probably just to give Gomez a bit more support over on that left hand side up against Lamine Yamal. Chachegi slots into that midfield in place of Turientes alongside Carlos Soler. Here is Odriozola's first involvement, nodded forward. Kubo can't quite get the better of Eric Garcia, and then offside flag up against the Japan international. Lewandowski has been called back by Hansi Flick, so keep an eye on that one for the moment to see if a change is incoming. Kubo has stayed on the right hand side for now. Barcelona look to break over the halfway line. Aramburu is chasing back here against Dani Olmo. Olmo goes first time with the ball into the box, but it's blocked away. Martin does well there to recover. De Jong tries to get a foot in. Spread over to the left hand side for Real Sociedad. Switch back through the middle here. Balde has to be careful. It's eventually just awkwardly hoofed away by Pau Kubasi, and Dani Olmo can't take it down under pressure from Odriozola. And that would be a throw in for Real Sociedad. Midway inside the Barcelona half down their right flank. And we are beyond an hour played here in San Sebastian. Odriozola comes forward to take the throw in. Tossed towards Kubo on the edge of Barca's penalty area. Chechegi can't quite make anything of that. Yathbal will put the pressure on Koundé over on the far side, though. Barcelona are appealing for a foul against the La Real captain. Joan Garcia is claiming that the ball was out of play, and then Yathbal fouled his right back. Decision goes against both Barcelona players, and La Real will have a throw in right over on the far left hand side, just in front of the corner flag for Sergio Gomez. Tossed into the penalty, headed away by Frenkie de Jong. Gomez just goes through the back of Lamine Yamal. A free kick for Barcelona in their right back position. Quickly taken by Koundé. Rolled across the edge of the 18-yard box. Alejandro Balde, delicate chip into the channel. Ferran Torres is chased across though by Jean Martin. He's claiming he was fouled there. The changes are being readied by Hansi Flick. Marcus Rashford held back for the moment. It's going to be João Cancelo for his second Barcelona debut. Marcus Rashford has now been called back. He was just taking his tracksuit bottoms off, so it's a triple change for Barcelona. João Cancelo on at left back for Alejandro Balde. Made the decision to move back to Catalonia at the start of 2024. And the two changes up top are as expected for Barcelona. Ferran Torres and Dani Olmo off. Lewandowski and Rashford on. And that will be a revived challenge for Real Sociedad as they try and battle on, potentially playing back-to-back wins against Barcelona here in San Sebastian. Another throw-in won by Odriozola just in front of Barcelona's penalty area. Has to toss that into the byline. It's the two substitutes that get it away, Cancelo and then Rashford. Picked up though by Aramburu. Odriozola will head to the byline. Just about manages to keep it in play. Kubo feeds it back to the edge of the penalty area. It's worked here for Carlos Soler. Can't quite get a shot off. Real bite about La Real here. Aramburu darts across to the byline. His cross is initially looked as if it was deflected out of play by Rashford, but the referee says the Venezuelan's ball was already out of play. Half-time in extra time in Rabat. Senegal 1, Morocco 0. Great strength inside the centre circle there from Robert Lewandowski. Ball into the channel for Lamine Yamal to chase. Sergio Gomez has got work to do here. Wins the tussle initially, but Lamine Yamal bounces off him to the byline. Can he cut it back? De Jong denied. Real strength that from Lamine Yamal. Gomez initially just tried to body him there. He stood up to the challenge and managed to squeeze a cut back towards Frenkie de Jong. Zubialdia and Jean Martin slamming the door in his face. Robert Lewandowski in a much deeper position there, was the architect of that move for Barcelona. But again, the blue and white wall keeps them at arm's length. It's a huge 25 minutes incoming here for Pellegrino Matazzaro. His biggest test since taking charge of Real Sociedad at the end of 2025. Lamine Yamal gives it away cheaply over on the right hand side. brilliant from the Spain international. We mentioned earlier on that he's got a fight to get in the Spain squad for the World Cup. Now those types of saves, if Luis de la Fuente is watching, will just add to the depth of reserves that La Roca have in goal. That is one of the best saves I've seen in a very, very long time. There's a concern here for Kubo, who chased onto that clearance by Ramiro. He seems to have tweaked the hamstring here. Possibility that might have been pulled back for offside against Lewandowski, who snuck away from Martin right on the edge of the 6-yard box, heads it down, and Ramiro just flings himself at it. What a save that is. Huge smile on the goalkeeper's face, and he gets the high five from his two centre backs in front of him. Bailed Martin out there. And moments like that might just indicate that this is Real Sociedad's night. It's not Kubo's night. He's not going to continue here. Substitution is already being called for as the La Real fans sing for their number one. Brilliant save from Ferran Torres early on in the second period. He's repelled Barcelona time and time again tonight. He's had a helping hand, of course, from VAR as well. But that from Lewandowski is the best of the lot. Stunning save, his 7th of the night. Everybody in blue and white pulling in the same direction here. And if there's going to be a change, this is so frustrating for Kubo. He's actually being stretchered off over on the far side. He just seemed to overexert himself as he tried to chase away from Eric Garcia. Immediately grabbing his hamstring as he goes down. Desperately unlucky for a very, very popular player here in San Sebastian, but that is the end of his night. As he's taken off the field of play by the medical cart here. The Real Sociedad players gather round to give him a pat and send him away. He looks in real pain here as he's taken off. And that will trigger a double change for the home side. Ahen Munoz is on. So too is Ander Baranche. Sergio Gomez, who's tussled all night against Lamine Yamal, is given an early exit. Munoz will be charged with shackling Barca's number 10 in the final 20 minutes here. Here's Rashford. Space to dart away down the left-hand side. Needs support, gets it from Cancelo, but checks in field here. Roll to Pedri on the edge of the La Real penalty. He'll go back to Cancelo. Tries to trick his way past Odriozola. Lifted in. It's clipped away over on that far side, but Lamine Yamal will float it back in. Rashford! Equaliser for Barcelona! And he looks across the line to see if there's an offside flag. And that's his 3rd La Liga goal of the season. And Marcus Rashford has delivered off the bench here for Barcelona. Lamine Yamal just floats it back into the dangerous area. Rashford holds his run in behind Adam Buru. Nods it down into that bottom corner. No chance this time round for Ramiro. 20 to go. Game on here. Brilliant that from Lamine Yamal. The ball in initially, flicked away. He just chases over to the byline, keeps it in play. And then a perfect delivery right onto the head of Rashford. And a chance at the other end for Real Sociedad. Can they finish? Yes! They're back in front, my word! What a turnaround! Gonzalo Guedes! At the home side, within 60 seconds, are back in front. Incredible, absolutely incredible. And Gonzalo Guedes has cancelled out Marcus Rashford's equaliser, his 5th goal of the campaign. And the script has been absolutely flipped here at the Estadio Real. Straight from the kickoff, just pumped downfield by Ramiro. As a mix-up between Kubasi and Koundé. And then a great ball just floated into the box. Initially headed down by Carlos Soler, saved by Joan Garcia, but he's out of goal. He just can't get back in time, and then 8 yards out on the angle, Guedes drives it back across goal, and that is brilliant, absolutely brilliant from La Real. What a game we have in store here. Soler just attacks that cross with purpose. Garcia does what he can initially, but as he's dragged to his near post, he just can't get back in position. And Guedes keeps his cool, keeps his composure, drives it home to put the home side back in front, and they are boing boing bouncing again in the stands here. Here's Guedes again, he's chasing him behind to the byline, he's away from Eric Garcia. The cutback is gathered in by Joan Garcia, who's caught there. This is turning into an incredible night in the Basque Country. Real Sociedad 2, Barcelona 1. Carlos Soler with the hand of apology there for Joan Garcia. It was him racing into the box to get on the end of that Guedes cut back. Got ourselves 17 minutes of normal time to go here. Rashford off the bench with the equaliser. But anything Barcelona can do, Real Sociedad can do better. And Guedes has them in front. Here's Odriozola, bursting forward from right back. Big chance to win it. Missed by Odriozola, missed by Oyarzabal. Odriozola charging forward from right back. He's away from Balde. And that's a delicious cross into the box. Oyarzabal is away from Kubasi. My word, that should be 3. That's a brilliant chance for the home side's captain. He needs to be putting that in the back of the net. Just can't get the accuracy on it. Fantastic from Odriozola. Swashbuckling run forward from right back. Cancelo caught out of position. Just arrows the cross into the penalty area. Kubasi doesn't spot the run of Oyarzabal behind him. I guess a good contact on the header. And that should have been bulging the back of Joan Garcia's net. In the aftermath though, La Real will have to make do for a corner over on the far side. Hung into the penalty area. Cancelo very, very awkwardly knocks that behind for another corner. He's not looked at all comfortable back in the salmon shirts of Barcelona. João Cancelo torn apart there by Odriozola. So we Baranchea to come across and take this corner right-footed down the right-hand side for Real Sociedad. Swung in towards the penalty, and that's a really good header away from Robert Lewandowski. Hoisted back into the penalty area. Oyarzabal is under it. Joan Garcia's come a hell of a long way there, and he's not got to the ball in a convincing manner. And Zubielda can chip this one for goal off the line. And Pau Kubasi saves Barcelona. What on earth was Joan Garcia doing there? He's come all the way out to the edge of his penalty. He had 2 bites of the cherry as it falls for Igor Zubielda. There's the 2 number 5s there. Firstly for La Real, that's a lovely little chip. Perfectly dropping in under the crossbar. But Kubasi gets back in position and saves Barcelona. Oyarzabal should have scored. Zubielda might have scored. but we're still somehow at 2-1. 13 minutes to go here. And La Real, who were hanging on before that Rashford equaliser, have now got their tails up. They might just fancy a third. The corner is cleared away. Pedri is fouled as Barcelona try and break here. Odriozola there. WWE move on Pedri as he raced through the middle of the pitch. Nothing more than a free kick in Barcelona's favour. Quick to get on with it, the away side. Lamine Yamal forced back into his own half of the field here. Frankie de Jong takes over inside the centre circle. We've had an unbelievable game here. First half dominated by VAR. 3 goals ruled out, a penalty overturned. Cracking finish from Oyarzabal. There's been no let up in the excitement after the restart. Here come La Real again. It's Odriozola linking down this right hand side. Eric Garcia goes to ground there to make the block. And that'll be a corner once more for Real Sociedad. Guedes, the willing runner in the channel. The pace to get away from Garcia there, and Barcelona's masked man had little choice but to dive in and make the block. Odriozola's had a real influence on this game since he's come on at right back. Corner taken quickly. Barrenechea tries to link there with Guedes, given away. The ball into midfield. Lovely take on halfway from Pedri. Needs support either side of him. He's got De Jong to the left. Rashford over on that right hand side, but the ball forward is hacked away. Not before. Now Sociedad have conceded a free kick here in a tricky position. And it's Barrenechea who was sprinting back there in pursuit of Pedri. Just absolutely cleans him out there as Pedri tries to lay that ball off to Marcus Rashford. It's the third caution of the night for a Real Sociedad player. Barcelona are furious with that. Free kick is worked short. Pedri tries to flick it in towards Rashford. Come out for a goal kick for Real Sociedad. Suscríbete was also cautioned in the aftermath of that card for Barrenechea. Outside now up to 4 bookings on the night. Senegal still a goal in front to the final 5 minutes of extra time in the AFCON final. Pape Gay's extra time goal after Brahim Diaz's wild penalty miss right at the end of normal time. Matazaro is going to make another change here. Just to try and break the game up a little bit. I think we will see La Real revert to the strategy they employed at the start of the second half as we move beyond the 80-minute mark now. They've got the advantage. They're in the strong position for 3 points. What would and could be back-to-back home La Liga wins over Barcelona. That change is going to be delayed for the moment as La Real win a throw-in right in front of Barcelona's penalty area. Tossed in high by Munoz. Pedri, lovely bit of invention there, just tries to feed a ball into Marcus Rashford. Rashford can't take it though. Picked up by Guedes. Try and get a cross in from the right hand side, headed away by Pau Kubasi. De Jong rolled into the feet of Pedri here. Barcelona have got a break on down the left hand side. Marcus Rashford will latch on to that pass from Pedri. Wants to step in and get on that right foot. Aramburu goes down. He slipped initially as he tried to make that challenge, and a little bit of good fortune for the Venezuelan there as Rashford was caught in 2 minds when he tried to take the shot on and literally just stands on Aramburu. wars tonight, the Venezuela international. They've given it absolutely everything. The host backline, Aramburu, Martin, Zubeldia, Gomez before he was replaced. Odriozola has certainly played his part, Munoz in the final stages, but that is the end of the night for Aramburu. Tazaro not taking any chances, so it's the veteran Croatian international, Kaleta Kar, that will be brought on. Odriozola will tuck in at right back and he'll go into the middle alongside Martin and Zubeldia. Here's Koundé at right back for Barcelona. Played into the feet of Lamine Yamal. He tries to pop it off to Pedri. Lovely take by the Canarian. Loses possession though there as La Real recover in numbers. There's Korachakegi who got back in there to put the pressure on. He's trodden on halfway by Robert Lewandowski. Any little breakage of the game now is what Real Sociedad want. Lewandowski does catch the number 4 there. Just tries to make ground over the halfway line and clumsy foot on the back of the ankle. Into added time in the AFCON final. Senegal, who won the trophy back in 2021, seconds away from lifting it again. Lewandowski's just talked his way into a booking on the back of that foul. It's Barcelona's first card of the night. Throw-in for the visitors back at right back. Koundé hurls it up to the halfway line. Lewandowski can't quite get there. Martin will see it back for Ramiro. 2 more changes incoming for Barcelona. Free kick for Barcelona after Fermin Lopez is barged to the floor on the halfway line by Munoz. Again, quick restart by Pedri. Now De Jong through the centre circle onto João Cancelo. Forward from left back here. He's got Pedri in the pocket on the edge of the D. Worked by him and then De Jong to Rashford. All about the cross from the left hand side, Rashford, but instead just works it in field. Back to Pedri. Now De Jong. Cancelo. Now Sociedad pinned back on the edge of their own box. What a... Oh my word, off the bar! How was that not ended up in the back of the net? The cross just fizzed in there by João Cancelo, and Jules Koundé arriving 5 yards out, flicks the header over Ramiro, and it comes back off the underside of the crossbar. Fermin Lopez can't poke it over the goal line. The referee's watch has not buzzed, so it doesn't go over the line. And that is a matter of centimetres away from Barcelona equalising for the second time tonight. Fermin Lopez has also talked himself into a caution there. He was unhappy, claiming that it was pulled back. We've got 5 minutes to go here. And those changes made by Hansi Flick, Kubasi and Koundé off. Rooney Bardghji and Gerard Martin are on. 5 changes made by both managers, so no further substitutions allowed here tonight. What a game, what a chance that was for Jules Koundé. We certainly didn't expect to see him popping up in that area. Has scored in La Liga this season. And Ramiro had no chance of getting that one. He was beaten, saved by his own crossbar. Barcelona on the march again. Pedri is cleaned out again. It's Carlos Soler this time, and that is a poor challenge. Oh, that is a bad challenge on Pedri. The Barcelona players are appealing to the referee here. Pedri has stayed down just inside his own half of the field. Luckily for Soler and for Pedri, he's back on his feet here. But this is being looked at as a possible red card challenge. It is a shocking attempt at a tackle by Carlos Soler. And this is not what La Real need. More time being added to the clock and the potential of playing out the final few minutes with 10 players. Final seconds in Rabat. Senegal are holding on against Morocco. Phil Manzano has got the word from his VAR, Carlos Del Cielo Grande, that he needs to come across and take a look at that challenge on the pitch side monitor. Pedri's in no doubt. He's back on his feet and he's okay to battle on. Soler is doing the rounds amongst the Barcelona players here, saying he made a fair attempt to play the ball, but that is a really, really bad challenge by the former Valencia man. And I'll be shocked if he stays on here for the final 2 minutes of normal time, plus whatever is added on. Phil Manzano has made his decision, and the yellow card is annulled because it's upgraded to a red for Carlos Soler. Real Sociedad's task has just been made a little bit harder. Oyarzabal has gone over to Pedri to give his view on the situation, but I do not see any defence for Carlos Soler there. It's simply good fortune that Pedri's not more seriously hurt. That may still come out in the wash in the days and weeks to come, but that is a poor, poor challenge from Soler as he heads straight down the tunnel. And that will add to the amount of time added on. We're into the final 90 seconds of the 90 minutes. Here is Frenkie de Jong. Roll back to Pedri, 30 yards from the Real Sociedad goal. Gerard Martin there tries to go first time to Marcus Rashford, and Rashford wasn't expecting that ball down this near left hand side and just allows it to roll underfoot. He's out for a throw-in for Real Sociedad back in their right-back spot. Alvaro Odriozola will take his sweet, sweet time over this one. The referee just telling him to get on with it. It's just smashed clear all the way back to Joan Garcia. Pedri, who's back on the edge of his own penalty area, just pings that ball over to the right hand side for Rooney. Now Lamine Yamal, lovely little change of feet there. Can he create something in the final stages? Munoz gets back in position, smashes the clearance away. It is full time in Rabat. Senegal have won AFCON 2025. The home side frustrated, but it is Sadio Mane and co that claim the trophy once more. All of our attention and our energy is right here in San Sebastian. Odriozola just tries to trick his way over the halfway line. He's caught there, claiming a foul. The decision will go in his favour as we await an update, and it will be 9 minutes of additional time to be played here. Real Sociedad have possession for now. Plenty of scope for Barcelona to absolutely throw the kitchen sink at the home side here. Try and force something. 11 wins on the run coming into this one. And now on the verge of seeing that incredible record torn apart on a night of incredible resilience from the home team. Alex Ramiro, superb in goal. A They've ridden their luck at times, that's for sure. Big moment from the captain before half-time, and then an unbelievable reaction from Goncalo Guedes to equalise 60 seconds after, to put them back in front 60 seconds after Rashford's equaliser. But they've got a little bit more to hold out for here. Matazaro is doing his stretches on the touchline. Everybody keyed in here for the final stages. Here is Gerard Martin over the halfway line once again. Barcelona ride once more. Pedri pops it over to the right hand side. Rooney for De Jong, back with Pedri. Popped ball into the feet of Lamine Yamal, who try and wriggle his way to the byline. Gets the ball across the face. Rashford keeps it alive and it's steered back goalwards by Fermin Lopez. Blocked behind for a corner though. Marcus Rashford will come across the take down this near left hand side. Fermin Lopez is effectively filling in at right back with Koundé gone off. Rashford with the corner, near post, headed away. Guedes will take it on the edge of the box. A throw in for the home team, and that's met by a roar from behind Ramiro's goal. Rashford's delivery was a poor one there. And Guedes smartly does the business. That actually came back off the post as Oyarzabal gets a little flick on it. Ramiro kisses his post, and been a bit too harsh on Marcus Rashford there. I don't know if he was intending to try and catch out Alex Ramiro. Almost did the trick. The luck has firmly been on Real Sociedad's side tonight. They've dug in and fought and fought and fought. 22 shots from Barcelona. 8 of those on target. Only one of them though has found its way past Alex Ramiro. Rashford will chase to the byline, just about manages to keep that one in play. Headed up over the top of his own crossbar there by Jean Martin. Don't think he knew too much about that one. He was just trying to get it away from a dangerous area. Barcelona will bring everybody but Joan Garcia forward for this corner. He stood on the halfway line though as it's floated into the near post. De Jong tries to knock it back in towards Lewandowski. Thought about the bicycle kick, just didn't have the space. Barrenechea will get there ahead of Rooney on the far side. And then it's overran by João Cancelo. Four and a half minutes of the 9 have been played. Oyarzabal is down with cramp. Munoz dashes over to lend a hand to his stricken captain. He's got no choice but to play on here, Mikel Oyarzabal. Will there be one final twist on the road? It's been a roller coaster night in the Basque Country. Real Sociedad 2, Barcelona 1. Oyarzabal and Guedes either side of the break. Marcus Rashford off the bench with the leveller for Barcelona. The home side are holding firm here. 3 minutes of additional time still to play. Give themselves a throw in here, just over the halfway line down the left hand side. Munoz will just hurl that down the channel to try and keep them inside Barcelona territory, but it's smuggled away. Played up to the halfway line here for Lewandowski to protect in front of Jean Martin. Martin gets a toe in there just to disrupt his progress. Worked back over onto that right hand side. Lamine Yamal, can he produce a moment of magic right at the death? Just fires that one over the top and saw his opportunity there. Drifted in on that left foot of his. Lewandowski was waiting for the ball in. It never came. Oyarzabal is down again with a touch of cramp. Dragged to his feet by a couple of his Real Sociedad teammates. They need their captain in the final few minutes, even if it's just to run the channels and make life difficult for Barca. We've still got another couple of minutes to sit through. Anxious faces all round here. They've been loud and proud right from the off tonight, the Real Sociedad fans. They've played their part. Can they get the final box ticked? Here is Martin again over the halfway line. Links with Marcus Rashford, just slightly left of centre, 30 yards from the La Real goal. Pedri will get his studs on the ball onto Frenkie de Jong. Now Lamine Yamal. Home side just back, defending with their lives on the edge of the 18-yard box in front of Alex Romero. It's worked in here to Rooney. Fizzes one at goal. For the first time tonight, Alex Romero gets down and holds on to that one. Not been the toughest save he's had to make this evening, but gets his body behind it and grabs it in. Just to tick down a few more vital seconds as Barrenechea chases over the halfway line. De Jong will let that bounce out for a throw-in for Barcelona. Last throw of the dice here for the La Liga leaders. Unless there's a change here, they will be remaining just a single point ahead of Real Madrid at the top of La Liga. Crossed in by Rooney, headed away by John Martin. He's been a rock at the back for La Real tonight. Here's Eric Garcia inside the centre circle. To the final seconds of the game. We're into the final minute of the 9 that was shown at the end of the 90. Lamine Yamal does really well to win back possession there inside the centre circle and keep Barcelona moving forward. Lewandowski links with Rashford down this near left-hand side. He's got Martin on the overlap. Cut back towards Lewandowski. Shifts his feet. Blocked. Picked up again by Pedri. Now Lamine Yamal takes over on the corner of the penalty area. Rolls for Cancelo across the box and smashed away. That was Jean Martin, I think, again back in there for the home team. Lamine Yamal will cross in. There's a mix-up between Caleta Khan, Ramiro. There's hugs all round though eventually as the goalkeeper falls on that loose ball. And we are seconds away here now. We are beyond the 99th minute mark. Oyarzabal has dropped to the floor over on the far side. He can't continue anymore. He just has to drag himself back up onto his knees. He might be needed once more if La Real can get this cleared away from Barcelona's final attack. Lamine Yamal with the cross in. Straight into the gloves of Ramiro. Boy, has he done his job tonight. And that is the final whistle as Alex Romero smashes it downfield. Oyarzabal only just about able to hobble back to his feet. It's been a captain's performance from him at one end, but it's all about the number 1 for La Real, Alex Romero. Sensational in between the sticks for the home team. Oyarzabal's goal just before the break, giving the home side a shock advantage here. But as Hansi Flick made his changes late on, Marcus Rashford with the equaliser, and then Gonçalo Guedes with the instant eventual winner. But Alex Romero is the name that is sung around the stands here at the Estadio Real, as Matazaro's sensational start to life in charge in the Basque Country continues. Barcelona lose for the first time in La Liga since October, and more importantly, the La Liga title race is back on, just a single point to Real Madrid. Full time on a pulsating night here in San Sebastian. It is Real Sociedad 2, Barcelona 1.